Good morning, this is C.H.E.K, and I wanted to take a few minutes of my day to celebrate individuality with you, your uniqueness, your one and only identity as an individual that cannot be found anywhere else in the universe. Let's take a couple of minutes to see why we should celebrate our individuality instead of trying to emulate other people and conform to being this way or that way because of some religious rule book or parental impositions, etc., etc. It's painful not to be yourself. You have to tie your dragon down. You become afraid to express your musical expression, your desire to sing, to dance, to play. All that stuff gets stuffed down and life just becomes a humdrum experience, like a machine or something like that, which is a great way to get yourself depressed, end up on bad drugs, seeing doctors, and not living. So let's have a look at some of the very deep and profound truths of the universe as I know them from my own personal experience, which is one of the reasons I love to be me. All right. So, at the very top, if you follow creation backwards, you get all the way back to what would be called a zero-point field in quantum physics, where there's no identity, just pure potential. It's literally bursting out of itself. Sometimes it's referred to as the vacuum, but you shouldn't think of it as a vacuum like the vacuum that you use to clean your house. You should think it as a vacuum represents the negative potential of zero. Zero, we often perceive zeros to mean something's not there. Well, that's the negative potential of zero. The positive potential of zero is that it's the source of everything. So the polarity of the emptiness of unconditional love, or zero, and the fullness of unconditional love, or zero, is what shows up in the Tai Chi symbol. So what we see is that unconditional love brings itself down as yin. Yin, in David Bohm's beautiful model, is that which enfolds, that which creates matter and brings things into some sort of a structural form. Just like when a woman is pregnant, she's bringing energy in and accumulating matter in her body to create a body for a new being. So here we call this unconditional love, or the zero, stepping itself down into something as the seed or the musical score. Just like you have to read the score, matter, it contains all the knowledge and all the wisdom in the universe in seed form. Yang represents the sprouting of, or the playing of the music. So the seed, the implicate, is in a perpetual transition to the sprout, and the score is in transition to becoming music. The sprout is the outflowing of the energy, the yang energy. The sun represents the outflowing of energy, but cold, dark, empty space pulls the light and the heat into it. So what we end up with is, here would be what most people refer to as God, but not a God that has needs or wants anything or judges you. That's just an idea. Any God that can be circumscribed is just an idea. So be careful with ideas. They get people sick, killed, and sad all the time. When you go up to what God really is, God is unconditional. You cannot know God is this or that. It's just God is pure potential. And that potential is expressed in and as the universe and all things in it in you. So we have this potential with two potential polarities, the empty and the full, meeting each other forever in transition. Everything's on its way up, becoming more complex, or on its way down, becoming less complex. And the grand total of all that paradoxically equals zero. So the greatest scientists in the world say, well, the truth is this is all an illusion, which is exactly what the sages and saints and masters have been saying for thousands of years. But it's the only illusion there is. That's the tricky part. Within that illusion, you have the energy of unconditional love becoming conditioned as Tai Chi, or love, desire, the seed has the desire to grow, and we could say the music has the desire to be played. And VE, the positive or the negative polarity, so this is positive electrically, VE, volt electron, the electromotive force that makes things happen. Sun produces electromagnetic energy and it makes things sprout and grow. We have to use our own energy, our own life force, our own light of consciousness to express the music. But remember, there's no condition up here. This is unadulterated, unconditional love, which means this is a whole gift. This is the free lunch. This is the party that required no cost for admission. And you get to wear any costume you want and act any role you want. We all just have to remember that each role has its unique experiences. If you want to act the villain, you get to live the life of a villain. If you want to act the lover, you get to live the life of the lover. If you want to act the mother, you get to live the life of the mother. If you want to act the policeman, you get to go chase bad guys. And if you want to act the bad guy, you give cops something to do. Everyone's getting exactly what they want. Om, that symbol, is a Sanskrit symbol that means the sum total of all vibration in the universe. It is the sound that creates all that is. If you want to learn how sound creates, just look up the term cymatics on YouTube, C-Y-M-A-T-I-C-X, and you'll see exactly how Om works. It's mind-blowing. So Om then is the equivalent of the orchestra. It is the expression of life in all forms, from rocks to man. Rumi says, God sleeps in the minerals, dreams in the plants, moves in the animals, and realizes himself in man. So what we see is that the entire process of the universe unfolding is caught here in this one symbol, Om, which in quantum physics could be a wave symbol that means the calculation of all waves. So what do we have here? We have the seed of life, or the score, being expressed as the music of Om, which has all of us in it. Each one of us is like a musician in an orchestra, and every one of us has our unique part to play. And we're all the expressions of unconditional love as individuality. So this brings us into seed form. We express our individuality as individuals, and that polarity of energy moving through us gives us all a very, very unique opportunity to live, love, and experience ourselves. Now, a key thing to understand here is that the implicate pulls things in, so it gathers everything in, just like a black hole will create a new star. So it brings things into its center. The explicate over here, the yang of it, causes individuality. So unconditional love is whole, but there is no individuality. There is only pure potential. So what we see is that each human being is essentially has a soul that would be analogous to a ray of light emerging from the divine sun, not the physical sun, the divine sun, which is a term that means the source of all things. So each one of us is powered by unconditional love through the process of love, and each one of us is an individuation. This is important. We're each an individuation of the whole. We're each an individuation of the whole. Think of a bicycle wheel with 32 spokes. Any one of those spokes can break, and each of those spokes contributes to the function of the whole. Just like the wheel as itself is a whole wheel, but each spoke is part of the wheel, well, Om means life itself and all things in it, the wheel of life, and each of us is akin to a spoke. And though we seem to be individual and separate from each other, we're actually an expression of the same thing, just like trees in a forest are separate from each other, but they're all an expression of the forest. So what this means is that because unconditional love never seems to do things twice. There's no 2 days that are the same. There's no 2 trees that are the same. There's no 2 rocks that are the same. There is nothing in the universe except uniqueness, novelty. So one of the fastest ways to create stress in your life is to go against the divine principle of individuality and novelty and try to force yourself to live and be like somebody that you're not. You are an important part of the whole, and your role in the whole is to express the divine within you. And here's the beautiful thing. Unconditional love cannot judge. There is no such thing as judgment. The whole concept of judgment and sin, that is just somebody else's musical score, and if you don't like that music, you should turn the channel. But it is not true, or there is no God. And if God was God, God could only judge God, because everything here is the body of God, the mind of God, the dance of God, the love of God, the art of God, the expression of God, the play of God. So there is no judgment. The question is, what do you want? Love's a boomerang. Whatever you throw out, that's what comes back. That's the nature of it. God's got nothing to experience but God. We're it. If you don't like the word God, throw 0 in there. 0 has nothing to experience but 1. 1 has nothing to experience but 2. And in Taoism, they say the 1 produces the 2 to make 3, which produces the 10,000 things, which just means everything. So at the end of the day, guess what? There's only one of you, and only you can decide how loving you are, how beautiful you are, how good you are, how bad you are. And if you want to play guilt and shame games and read books that make you scared of yourself, hey, you're doing a perfect job of contributing to the play. Just know that you're also the director of the play, you're the script writer, and you can do anything you want to do. And there's only one rule in the play. Whatever role you take, you have to experience both sides of it. If you throw the boomerang out with badass on it, then badass comes back. If you throw the boomerang out with conniving on it, conniving comes back. If you throw the boomerang out with love and empathy comes home. A whole great spirit. So remember, you, the one and only you can determine how perfect you are, how beautiful you are, because there's only one of you, and Great Spirit has fully invested itself in the experience of being you, and that is what I call a great commitment to love. Now is your time to fully invest in yourself, dance, sing, party, play, enjoy the holidays, enjoy life, embrace yourself, give yourself a big kiss, and go live. Talk to you soon.